The stock market has rallied to have its best week in over 4 decades. All the while, unemployment numbers skyrocket over 16 million in the past 3 weeks. Why is this? I'm going to explain to you why that's happening, as well as what you should be doing as far as your investments are concerned, coming up. What's going on, guys? Yes, so the stock market is making absolutely 0 sense right now, right? Unemployment numbers go through the roof. The Rona is still around, wreaking havoc, and people are still locked up inside their homes. Why is the stock market then going up? Well, I'm going to explain why, but first let me go ahead and welcome you to my channel. Hi, my name is Brad, and this is Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, right? But I made it my mission to help you own it. So if you want to see more content such as this and get a hold of your investing, then please, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and if you get value out of today's video, I certainly would appreciate a thumbs up. Also, I want to remind you of the Chaos Crew, or being a member of this channel. So if you are a member of this channel, by clicking the join button for less than $5 a month, you'll get a watch list from me every single day, along with supports and resistances that I've identified. And if you want to be a part of that, I certainly would be happy to have you over there. Just click that join button. Can't wait to see you in the Chaos Crew. All right, so on to today's video. The past week, we saw the S&P 500 gain over 12%, having its best week since 1974. Nasdaq posted 10.6% in its best day since the financial crisis in 2008, and the Dow Jones gained 2,666 points since last Friday, marking its best week ever. All this came after the latest jobs report totals over 6 million in new jobless claims, meaning there's over 16 million in the last 3 weeks, and deaths as a result of the Rona in New York City experienced their worst day on record so far on Thursday, with 799 people losing their lives as a result of the disease. So why did the markets continue to climb? Well, the Federal Reserve unveiled a plan to inject another $2.3 trillion into the economy. $2.3 additional dollars into the economy for small households, small businesses, and small governments. Conveniently, or coincidentally, or not coincidentally enough, this came out at the exact same time that the unemployment numbers came out on Thursday morning. And take that however you want. Maybe it was just coincidental timing, or maybe it was just so that they could soften the blow and prevent some sort of crazy sell-off in the market. But I'll leave that for you to decide. Stupid paper. Right now, the markets truly aren't being held up by anything else other than the Federal Reserve and the government. Nobody's out of their homes. Nobody's making money hand over fist, and we certainly aren't at a time where we were back in June of 2019, which is where the stock market's sitting at right now. Some may say that the actions of the Fed may not provide a very good outlook long term, as they continue to just print money, and it also brings down the value of a dollar. It's just simple inflation. The actual definition of inflation is what's going on right now. But honestly, I say, who cares? There's measures that the Federal Reserve can take and the government can take to mitigate those issues later on down the road. And I'm sure that they will take measures, or have already thought about those measures, as people start getting back to work and are allowed out of their homes. But the fact of the matter is that small businesses failing means that America is failing. And as long as the Federal Reserve can hold up those small businesses and keep people fed, that's really all that matters right now. So they're pulling out all the stops, and they're dropping the mother of all bombs. It seems as if this $2.3 trillion stimulus is going to be massive for the economy. But what I would say is that these are still all band-aids, which brings me to the next question that a lot of people are asking: did we finally reach the bottom of the stock market? Now, if you've been watching this channel at any length over the last 2 weeks, or if you're just joining, I will say it again: nobody can predict the bottom of the stock market. Ultimately, for as long as the Fed can hold up the stock market at this point in time, then I think that yes, perhaps we have reached the bottom, but only if we come up with some sort of vaccine or treatment for the Rona. That's the only thing that's going to repair exactly what's been going on in the economy at this point. That's the catalyst. That's the catalyst that brought the economy down to where it was, and it's going to be the catalyst that brings us out of it. The Fed's doing everything that they can to hold up the market, but they can only hold it up for so long. Now, I think that they're doing an incredible job, and in my opinion, I think they're doing a very a much better job than what they did in the crisis of 2008, where it was really, I don't know, there was a lot of partisanship going on. And while we have seen that this time around, it hasn't been nearly as impactful or as bad as it was back then. Now, having said all of that, what should your outlook be and how should you be investing at this point in time? Well, as I've been saying this whole entire time since this entire crisis has been going on, is scaling in. If you have freed up cash, if you were expecting this type of recession or crash to happen, then you probably have already saved up cash as a result of the anticipation of something like this happening. So now you're asking yourself, when do I buy? And in my opinion, I've been saying this, like I said, that you should have been buying this whole time, not just throwing the boat at, taking your whole pile of cash and throwing it in all at once, but scaling yourself in as the market continues to come down. Because like I said, there is no way that you can predict the bottom of a market. Absolutely not. But in my opinion, it's also very important to choose wisely. We've talked about on this channel about staying away from certain sectors and which ones are going to be doing well. So I did come up with a good list, and I've talked about these before, but some are new, about what are going to be good companies to invest in right now and then moving out of the crisis. I think that they're doing extremely well at this point in time, given the circumstances, and that they will certainly shine even brighter as we move our way out of this crisis as well. But before I give you those stocks, I just want to invite you over to my mentorship that I do every single day. If you guys are interested in checking out that, the links are down in the description below, and I'll provide a promo code STOCKS for a free month. And what this will get you is a daily mentorship with yours truly. I go live every single day from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time, the most important time of the stock market as it opens. And I'm also with you throughout the entire day in a private chat group as well. So if you want to check that out, put the promo code STOCKS and get your 30 days free. I would love to see you there. Okay, so moving on to the stocks that are worth taking a look at and continuing to scale yourself in as the market is doing whatever it is it wants to do. It's going to be companies that are still thriving in this market or this economy, whatever you want to call it. These are companies that are continuing to stay open and will stay open throughout the duration of this crisis that we're dealing with right now. And that is going to be your Walmarts, Costco's, Amazons. Those are first and foremost, in my opinion, the ones that you should be looking at right out of the gate, because they are still very much open and very much in high demand. Combined, Costco, Walmart, and Amazon are looking to hire an additional 300,000 plus employees to keep up with the extreme demand that they're experiencing right now. You have people that won't go out of their homes, so that they're ordering from Amazon, groceries, products, what have you. They're all coming from Amazon, Costco, and Walmart. But you might be asking yourself, well, Walmart and Costco have freestanding buildings, and that's true, but they've also have a huge e-commerce platform as well that people have been taking advantage of. So it's not just those freestanding buildings that Costco and Walmart are benefiting from, it's also the e-commerce side that's working its way into the Amazon space as well. Not only that, but we also experienced a lot of the empty shelves that we saw all across the country when it came to toilet paper and sanitizer and that sort of thing on these Costco and Walmart shelves. And we still have yet to have seen those quarterly reports as a result of that intense amount of revenue that those companies have generated as a result of the Rona and why people are obviously in their homes and everything else. When all those people were stocking up, that means that revenue was being pumped into those companies and are going to increase the valuation of them in this coming quarter, in my opinion. And moving forward, considering the demand that they've been experiencing, even if people are going to be allowed outside of their homes, there's still going to be a lot of fear going around. And even if they are allowed out, there may be a lot of people that still choose to stay in, and they will be even more inclined to order online and have their products sent to them. So just the demand alone is going to be a reason why I will be looking at these stocks to investing in long-term or short-term, whatever your time horizon may be. Secondly, I'm looking at companies such as AMD and Apple and a lot of your tech companies. We've seen a record number of laptops and computers being ordered over the last several weeks. And AMD, obviously, we know is the microchip company who has been doing extremely well throughout this recession, despite a lot of these other companies out there that have dropped 70, 80, even 90%. AMD has dropped very momentarily and then went right back up. It's holding very nicely within that $40 range. And we saw spikes up over $50 this past Thursday. And I think that AMD is a very sound investment. If you're looking for an opportunity to invest in something like an AMD or Intel or NVIDIA, I like all three of those, but my favorite, in my opinion, is going to be AMD. I think it's just a better company to be invested in for a lot of fundamental reasons. And then Apple is going to be a really good one to continue to invest in and continue continue to scale in, even if the markets continue to come down after this recent surge up. I think that Apple is going to be a good one. They are deep into healthcare. A lot of people don't know this. I talked about this at the beginning of the year, where Apple has been getting into healthcare big time. So this is before, this crisis took place. At the first of the year, this is the one stock out of the three that I talked about that you should be investing in for the next decade. Apple's getting into healthcare on the electronic medical record side, which is a huge industry if you're not aware of. And then they're also getting into telehealth, which, if you guys have been watching TV and listening to some of the updates that were being given out, telehealth is a really, really big industry, and I think that we only see this continue to grow, and Apple's already been in it for a length of time at this point. So being ahead of the curve and then having this come about, I think it's going to be a very, very impactful year for Apple once the dust settles, if you will. Their stores are already opening back up in China. They're starting to see people buy again over there, so I think it's only a matter of time before it finally trickles back over here into the US, and Apple's just going to be a really sound investment overall. We saw this up over $330 before the crash, and I think that we will see that go back to those highs sooner rather than later as a result of a lot of the things that have been going on with them from the fundamental side and what they are doing as far as healthcare is concerned. I think Apple is just an outstanding investment for the long term. And the last one that I want to talk about is Disney. And this might sound like it's coming a little bit out of left field, because you might be asking yourself, well, we've already talked about how Disney parks are the largest revenue driver for Disney, and they're not open right now. Videos aren't being filmed. There's a lot of things that have been put on pause for Disney, but one thing that hasn't, and that is Disney Plus. ESPN is still doing their thing, even if it's via Zoom, which, by the way, still a big fan of Zoom too. But Disney, I think, is going to come out on top of this, especially once they start to open their parks back up. People will go back to Disney, and I think they will go back to Disney quickly. There's one thing that you can't take account for on Disney, and that is their actual brand. People are obsessed with the brand of Disney, and soon as they open their parks back up, people will be going back to their parks. So that's not something that I'm worried about, but I would bet anything that they are seeing outstanding numbers from their Disney Plus service as they are competing with Netflix. And we've talked about this before, but I thought that Disney going into the new year was going to be a fantastic investment, and I still think that to this day. Anything under $100 or right around $100, in my opinion, is a cheap price for Disney moving forward, and I'm really curious to see how those Disney Plus numbers are going to look by the end of the year. Okay, so now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on what's going on in the economy right now? Do you think that, do you agree with me? Do you think that the reason that the market is doing so well is because it's just being propped up by the Federal Reserve? Or do you think that there's some merit to this? Do you think that people are having a much more positive outlook? Or what is your opinion? I would love to hear from you in the comments below as I respond to every single one of them. Or if you have stocks in particular that you would like me to talk about or that you would like to give some insight on, I certainly would love to hear from you, and I can't wait to respond to them. So that's going to do it for me, guys. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do so. I would certainly appreciate the support. Almost 80% of the viewers that come to this channel still have not subscribed to it, which tells me that you come back and watch my videos, but you have not yet subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, and give me a good thumbs up if you got value out of today's video. I certainly would appreciate it, guys. And that is going to do it for me. As always, I will see you all before the bell, and B. Smith is out. Yes, guys, so again, another great day in the stock market. It's been all over the place, right? Super volatile, a lot of uncertainty regarding the beer bug, we'll just call it that,